we've got a couple announcements. What we'd like to do is share a couple of announcements with you, and then also go around the room, and if any of you have any wins that you'd like to share with regards to social media or your web content, or any progress you're making, any ideas that you may have heard here at the Nevada County Meetup that you've implemented and got some traction or getting some traction, we'd love to hear about that. That's how we all learn. Okay, everybody hears, some of us are a little further ahead on the path than others, so shine that light behind you for the person that's behind you so they can get to where you want to get to. If you haven't done so yet, we have these NCO cards kind of floating around. Grab a few of these, keep them in your wallet, and pass them out. If you know somebody that would like to drop by on the fourth Tuesday and join us, we'd love to have them. Our goal here is to blow out of this meeting room to actually need a larger meeting room. So if you can help us with that, that would be great, and the more the merrier. One announcement, how many people know Robert Trent over at Sierra Commons? Okay, he asked me to put an announcement out that they're going to be having a Web Designers and Developers Expo at their location. So I'll have this if you're a web developer or a designer and you'd like to find out about how to get involved with that, just see me at some point. You can get the information here or contact Robert at Sierra Commons, okay? Let's see, next, our lending library. How many of you knew we had a lending library? Our best kept secret.
We announce it once every 4 meetings.
Once every 4 meetings, that's right. What happened is a while back, Jim Britt, one of our members, had generously donated a giveaway, and I was fortunate enough to have my card drawn for that giveaway, and rather than just hoard the information and keep it from all of you, I decided why not start a lending library with it. So some of Jim's material, these are great. I've actually watched them and listened to them. These are cracking the rich code. So there's great stuff in here, great interviews with great entrepreneurs and business owners. If you'd like to rent this out, all you need to do, again, is come up to me and let me know, and we'll put your name down here, and you get it basically until the next meetup, and then bring it back, and then somebody else can rent it out, all right? And then Corian, today, just donated this book. It's called Off the Hook Marketing. It's all about social media marketing, so that's available too. And if you guys have any books or tapes laying around that maybe you don't listen to anymore, but you think other business owners could benefit from them and are willing to donate them, you'll get them back eventually if you need them back, but you can let them float around. That'd be greatly appreciated. Let's see. Any other announcements, Corian? Yes, or maybe sort of, kind of in a way? No?
Sorry, I was playing a game.
That's okay. I hope you win. With that being said, let's kind of go around the room. Who's got a win that they'd like to share with their business?
I do.
Yes.
My name is Rochelle Bloxberg. I'm a neurofeedback therapist. My business is Sierra EEG. And last week I got a call from this guy just out of the blue, and I didn't ask him where he found me. And when he scheduled his consultation, I asked him, and he said that he had read an article about neurofeedback on some blog that I'd never heard of. And I actually went to that blog and I looked at the article, and it really was horrible. It didn't really give very much information, and I don't know why it intrigued him, but it did. And so he searched neurofeedback Grass Valley, and he found me, and he said he read my entire website. He was so pre-qualified when he came in. He hardly had any questions about neurofeedback at all. He just wanted to talk about himself and his issues. And when I asked if he had any questions, his question was, when can I start?
Awesome.
So I started with him on Friday, and we're doing really well.
Cool. Very good. So you're going to rewrite an article or a blog and just get it circulated out there?
Yeah, good one.
Anybody else have a win? Jim?
I actually have two of them. I think one with Corian and I, we've kind of partnered on he's helping me with my search engine optimization, and I'm helping Corian to get some exposure in front of groups and build his business that way. So I'm excited about what we're doing. I'm learning a little
And
bit.
I got to eat pizza at Jim's place, which is probably a big bonus on the whole deal.
We had a party. So anyway, and the other thing is I'm producing a seminar in Sacramento on July 23rd, and I'd like to invite all of you to attend. It's a seminar for small business owners, entrepreneurs, or people looking to start a business. Myself and a fellow by the name of Jim Lutz, we both got, I've got about 35 years of training entrepreneurs. He's got 25 years, and it's just a great event that we're doing, and it's absolutely free for you. So if you'd like a ticket for it, let me know. And if you know anybody that would like to attend that's a small business owner, entrepreneur, or looking to start a business, let me know and we'll get tickets for it, okay?
If you want to carpool down, I'll be going for sure, so if anybody else wants to go.
And the date again was?
July 23rd. It'll be at the Red Lion Hotel. You take the ticket, and on the back it's got a place where you go to the website and register, and you'll get your get the information and timing. It's 1 to 5 p.m.
Wonderful. Thank you. Any other wins? Yes? No?
Well,
Well,
I guess
okay.
I have a mini win. I mean,
We like mini wins.
well, I have been working on teaching other people how to write mini workshops, mini memoir things. And so I didn't know how to market it, and so I've been putting it on Facebook, and so I was amazed at I put out a big invite, and I actually recruited some people that way, so I'm excited about it. Anyway, I'm going to teach this thing on July 7th, so if anyone is interested in learning a method for writing in 5-minute blasts, really quick and dirty kind of writing, call me. I have some flyers here.
Very cool. Actually, if for any of you that have announcements like that where you want the flyer posted, we're kind of setting this area up here where you can set your cards or flyers or things of that nature for people to see. So feel free, at some point to do that. Any other wins? Yes.
Evelyn Bassett, and I was going to share, Corey and I had fun last week going to a conference in San Jose, and it was fun just to network with people and hear, there were marketing executives from everything from, Adobe to AOL to just, large size companies, and it was fun just to kind of mingle right with them, and Corey had fun sharing his expertise with these people, and I love to network, so that was really an exciting, fun thing, just to come home with kind of that bigger feel of what other people out there in the marketing world are doing. And then I've also had some fun with some new clients that I've gained. A client that lives in New Jersey that has a pretty, busy kind of a interview, telesummit system with his wife. And they're going to be moving to Israel in August. And so it's kind of fun for me because as our business grows together, I'll become international.
Nice.
So not just national, but international.
Nice.
So just a lot of fun stuff going on.
Cool. Yeah, there's plenty of stuff out there, right? If we're not taking advantage of it, we're starving at the barbecue, right? Anyone else?
That's a good one.
Anyone else? Okay, well, with that, let me bring up Corey on, and he's got a little bit of a recap on an event that he's going to share with us, and then
this same one.
introduce our speaker for today.
I wanted to bring back some of the lessons learned and my experiences from the eConsultancy Digital Cream Conference. I think I had mentioned it to the group maybe last time. I was going to do a conference called Search Love, and that one got canceled. And strangely enough, on the same day, this company that is a big consultancy company out of Great Britain that's trying to break into the States scheduled a conference, one-day conference with a lot of big name companies like IBM, Microsoft, Adobe. I was at a table with like 2 guys from eBay, and the one guy said, well, I was a nuclear physicist, and then that wasn't challenging enough, so now I'm doing analytics for eBay. So I wanted to bring back some of the lessons from that, and also I'm going to, again, going back to the plan of launching my blog, so I'll post that on the different groups. I'd like to ask for some support from this community that as I get my blog rolling, if you guys can read and interact, post your questions and comments. I'm really open to writing and teaching on a variety of topics, so if there are things that you're stuck on for internet marketing, please interact there. It's a big help to me because in my, like for example, for Jim, I'm doing partnership research. I'm looking at all these people that he knows and figure out who are the people that he could start working with more. And one of the things we look at is a blog to see if it gets used. Are there comments on the blog? Are people having a high level of discourse? So if we can project what we're doing here onto that blog, I'd really appreciate it. So that said, let me go through some of the main points that I learned. First of all, there was an interesting overarching theme that many people mentioned in one way or another, which is, and somebody had a specific PowerPoint on it, is a big trend in online marketing is managing complexity. And you guys probably know that as small business, because it was funny because we're in this small business realm where we're doing this stuff, and the first conversation I had of the day was like 25 minutes into deep analytics of how you like figure out exact attribution if you have multiple affiliates. And then they kind of turned to me and they said, oh, what do you think? And I said, who's got time for that? And I said, well, instead, let's talk about like in the trenches, white hat link building and things that we need to for SEO, or how do we use social marketing to, like Jan did, actually get somebody into a sales funnel and turn them into a customer. So managing complexity, there's a lot of tools out there. I'm going to be in the waters swimming in this, trying to figure out the best tools that are good for us. Because that's probably one of my biggest takebacks from this conference, is that all these companies with marketing staffs that if you are Microsoft or let's say IBM and you've got so much traffic that you can tweak your analytics, make some small on-page changes, and you make 10 grand more a month. Whereas for us, it's a matter of going, okay, how do I build that traffic? How do I do this first steps? And there's a big gap there. And I saw that a lot of the things that I could teach them about the tactical stuff we all do was for some of these companies going, oh, you know, I didn't think about doing keyword research again to try to figure this stuff out. Another thing that I heard was important is Pinterest is really rising. People are using it directly for leads. And the main thing is infographics. So if you can project your expertise for what you know well in a graph or a visual format, Pinterest is now adding more social features like likes and shares. So that wave is just starting right now. And honestly, I haven't done anything yet on Pinterest, but it's, as Evelyn and I discuss our marketing, it keeps getting pushed up the list. I really see a lot of value. It's not valuable for SEO. The links you get from it are now no follow links, so it won't help you with search ranking. But I'm seeing more and more from these companies that tying that into your other social media marketing gets direct leads and gets good traffic. And overall, from social media, people were talking about Facebook, other sources, saying it's the main purpose they use it for is to drive somebody to an offer page, a very specific kind of landing splash page, opposed to just saying, hey, come read my blog, or come to my homepage, or something that's more general. So consider that. If you're using Facebook as a promotion tool, you can tie it into other places, but create that kind of landing page offer. And I think that's one thing, again, I've seen in Jim's market. We're looking at a lot of people that do training. They're really good on splash pages, but you know, that sales messaging page.
Is there anybody locally who does them affordably, splash pages, like that specializes just in creating them? Anyone?
Anybody know anybody?
Or Fiverr or anything?
Speak up.
Yeah, we do it. Clicksite.com, Ground Meadow Vista. We do landing pages, web design, and social media marketing. So
What do you do?
very affordable. So
Really? Okay.
Clicksite.com.
Clicksite?
I'll leave my card out here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. For those of you that are in e-commerce or into kind of more detailed SEO, one of the things that was interesting for me is something called micro formats, that you can essentially embed a lot of data now on the page that Google will pick up and actually uses that as an important ranking algorithmic factor.
What was that called again?
Micro formats. I haven't, I've got more things on my to-do list than I've got time, so I haven't gotten into it yet. From what I understand, it's essentially you can get tools that you can put into a database or a spreadsheet with attributes of your individual products, and then that kind of gets plugged into the pages that those products appear on. Google crawls and then goes, oh, I'm not sure if I've told you this analogy before, but a lot of SEO marketers do, once you really know the kind of algorithmic factors, do SEO as if Google is a 5-year-old autistic child. What that means is that there are these weird peculiarities that are not huge factors, but they're there, and once you kind of learn to build them into what you do, the simplest one for most people in this room is make sure the title on your page is really clear on every single page for those keyword focus. All right, I don't want to take up too much more time.
Corian?
Yeah.
I could give a talk about microformats sometime if you wanted.
Great, so why don't you do 5 minutes at the next meeting?
Okay.
That would be awesome. And just follow up with me so we can put that on the agenda.
Sure.
That's the main stuff. And the last thing I'll end with is I'm reading a great book right now I'd like to recommend to everyone. It's called Free, The Future of a Radical Price. It's fascinating. It's by a Wired blogger who looks at the whole history of how free originally arrived from the Babylonians inventing zero as an accounting tool to the psychology of free. I'll give you one example from this book that I found fascinating. Psychological test with college students. Put a college student at a table with a Hershey's Kiss and a very nice European Lindt chocolate. The Lindt chocolate costs 15 cents. The Hershey's Kiss costs a penny. You give them $1. What do people pick? What do you think?
Kisses.
No.
The Lindt.
Lindt is much better.
Yeah.
So 70% of the people pick that Lindt chocolate. But if you reduce the price by both by a penny, and the Hershey's Kiss now becomes free, and the Lindt chocolate costs 14 cents, it flips. 70% of the people pick the Hershey's Kiss. And this book is peppered with examples of companies that have built themselves around free. And it's a really compelling case, and I'm thinking about already, I'm working with Dr. Miller's Free, The Future of a Radical Price. And here's one of the great things, the book itself is released free on audible.com, and it's out there in other places I found an information page and I didn't follow up on the links. But the full audiobook is free on Audible. That's 6-hour book. The edited 3-hour version costs $7. I love that. So anyway, he talks about how you can generate a lot of revenue for free. So let me introduce Tom next. TheUnion.com is one of the hubs of our community here. We get information about things locally that we're not going to find from other sources. They provide us, that community that we can share that through your blogs and through the social media on the site as well. There's a lot going on there, and it's been a really interesting ride for them because they're in the era of declining readership across all print media. I mean, we're seeing this trend that with Craigslist killing classified advertising. I just heard an article about that it's really tough to survive as a newspaper. So that's why, as a case study, Tom's going to share what they're doing now with their website and how you guys are evolving to be able to stay as a viable business and leverage social media. Leverage the way that you interact with the community and you bring people in, not just from here in Grass Valley, but now all over the country and the world. So, Tom Harbert from the Union.
How you do? So the first thing I'd like to ask is how many people in this room believe that a newspaper will be a method to get your news in 100 years?
Speak up, please.
Do you believe that we will be getting our news from newspapers in 100 years?
Yes.
How about 50 years?
Are you
Do think
mean
in 50
print?
years? Print. In print. Do you think you'll be getting a printed newspaper in 50 years? 10 years?
10 years still looks.
Okay, in 1995, I thought in 20 years the print newspapers would go away. And that's why I started TheUnion.com. I'm hoping that I will have been wrong, because it's getting almost up there, and I'm sure I will have been wrong. But at some point, print is going to go away. It just doesn't make any sense. So our problem is how to get people to move to a digital delivery and value it the same way as they always have in print, because advertisers don't value it the same. Real quickly, I'm going to go over the products that we have, and then we'll move into the social aspects of what we do. So the one you're most probably familiar with is the Union's print edition. It gets about 15,000 subscribers, and so about 15,000 people get that a day. You can also get that exact same file delivered to your to your screen on your computer. It's the same PDFs that go to the press. You can also get delivered to your laptop, and that's good for people traveling on vacation. And we call that the e-edition or the e-paper.
How many are on that?
Well, we'll talk about all access in a minute, but that too has a subscription, and it's an additional $1. There's about 6,500 people that have that. The behind the scenes, the PDFs of those pages are sent to a third-party vendor called Technavia. They disassemble those PDFs and break them out into little chunks, little images that can be delivered more quickly than an entire PDF of a page. And then we also have the mobile. So we have a web app that you can download. The same headlines that go to the website are delivered to your phone, and you can see those headlines wherever you are. And that's a third-party vendor called DoApps, and they latch onto our RSS feeds, pull in the real content into those pages. And then we have the union.com. So the union.com is different in that it's an article on a web page. It's not something that was designed for print and then put on the web. It is intended to be viewed start to finish on the website. And that last year averaged about 10,000 visitors per day. All Access, some of you may have heard about what we call All Access. All Access is our premium model, so that people are able to get the same content on the website, and premium content that comes from that we have to pay people to produce is available by subscription. And that history of the website is a lot of people say, well, how can you charge for access to the website because it's always been for free? I was in Nevada City yesterday and I had to pay for parking. It hasn't always been that way. But a few years ago, they decided to start charging you 25 cents for a 2-hour to park in the public street. So this idea that it's always been that way, and therefore it's always going to be that way, it can't be that way, because in 1995, PayPal hadn't been in existence. There was no means to collect money on the internet. So this idea that you should have in 1995 started a website that charged a subscription, nobody would have given you the credit card number, because the whole mechanism wasn't there. So we're in this transition now where in 1995 it wasn't possible to charge people for a subscription on the internet, but now we have to move to that. And so the same things are free that have been free for a long time. Anything that's community submitted, and Machen pointed out a while ago that sometimes his column is shown as a premium article, and it's not how it's supposed to be, and I can correct that. Anything that's submitted by the community is intended to not be a premium. Obituaries, one of our highest read areas of the website, are also not a premium article. Breaking news, if the fire is racing towards town, then that's obviously not a premium. Anything that would be available elsewhere. So that means any AP content, if you see it on KNCO, if it's competitive, if you see it elsewhere, then why would we make that a premium thing? And then of course, classifieds, jobs, real estate, autos, all the classifieds are of course not premium. And so the best part of All Access to me is that it ends the print subsidy. So a lot of people will have canceled their print subscription, they'll have started reading for free online, and then we started All Access. They say, well, print people are supposed to pay for my news. Well, if you extend that model out, it doesn't work. It's a parasitic relationship where people want the print people to pay for somebody to get up out of at 3 in the morning and go out in the snow and take a photo, but they don't want to. It's not worth it to them to pay anything for that. So I think that's the best part, is that it ends that subsidy. And we have, as I said, about 6,500 so far that are on All Access. And then throughout this presentation, I'm going to talk about what's behind the scenes. What's behind the scenes with this is with the union.com is a content management system called Saxotech. It's not something you're ever going to find anywhere else. It's a Norwegian company. And they do both print and online presentations for the news industry and magazines. The data center's in Atlanta. It's a big data center. It's not in the Union Building. It's not in my garage. It's a big full-on 24-hour a day dual air conditioning. It's a big, it's a data center. We use Google Analytics for our stats, just like you probably do, or may. And the ad platform we use is DoubleClick. DoubleClick is another Google product that they bought just before we started using it. Gives you so many insights, but also allows you to forecast what the traffic on your site is likely to be in the future. And so it does that based on the last week's traffic. So they figure out in the last week you had so many visitors on this page, and so for the next month we believe that you're going to have this amount of traffic. So that's imperfect if it's a Christmas holiday and traffic goes way down, and they use that week to forecast the next month, they'll be off. But it's not just, it's a very intricate method that they use to figure out if you're going to have enough traffic to support the ads that you have on your site. Our classified system is homegrown, which means somebody built it from scratch. And the best part about our classified system is that it's reverse, kind of what we call reverse publishing. That is, people can go to the website, they can put in their ad, and then it comes out in print. So it's a nice symbiosis between print and web. And the same is true of Calendar, which has been brought up in these meetings before. We use Trumba, which is the same site that all of the local chambers of commerce use to promote their events. And so if you go to the calendar page, theunion.com/calendar, you'll see all of these different categories of events. The most popular ones are arts and entertainment. And the reason for that is because it too is reverse published. So you go to the website, you put in your event, and it comes out in the prospector section. And people love that. They can go in and put their event. They're going to have a wine tasting or an art opening, and then it comes out in the prospector. So you're not just being seen by the people that visit the website, you're also being seen by everybody who doesn't have a computer. And the other thing about Trumba, the nice part since the Chambers of Commerce use it, is that any event that is put in on a local Chamber of Commerce site, whether it's Grass Valley, Nevada City, or South County, Penn Valley, they are all available to be seen on the tourism link. Since we all use the same system, we can import their events and they'll all be seen. One thing to understand is that we can't edit anything that's put in by the Chambers of Commerce. They spend a lot of time putting those in, and we don't want the responsibility of messing those up or having an obligation to those. So,
Are KNCO and the radio stations linked up to Trumba too?
well, I noticed that KNCO does use Trumba, but I don't know what their relationship is with the Chambers of Commerce, and I haven't talked to them. But it certainly does seem like,
It'd be nice if everyone used the same.
It's really amazing that so many organizations are using the same product, and that product allows you to talk to each other.
Yeah.
And likewise for the Sierra Sun in Truckee, they have the same calendaring system, and so you can see all of their events on our calendar as well.
Yeah, Nevada County Arts also uses Trumba, so
Right.
if you put in an event on there, it should show up
Yep.
in the other places too.
Hey Tom, I just wanted to mention, just because I hear this a lot, the reverse publishing is based on space available on Prospector.
Right.
There's a lot on these calendars that we can't always put in.
Right.
So I just want to make sure you guys know that too.
We do get a lot of events. It's amazing when you look at the stats for Trumba, how many events there are, because if you have Pinochle at your house every Thursday, that's 52 events, or 53 events this year. And anything is an event if it's an important to you. So it can be anything, really. No outright spam, please, but.
We don't have this listed on there, so I guess we should probably put that up.
That's a
I
good
was
idea.
actually thinking of that. Sitting here looking at the date, always doing the same date.
Space available.
And it does make you wonder, well, how come all these major events happen the same day? Didn't anybody ever look at the calendar? And you know, it used to be that was a big frustration. Anymore, there's really no excuse for that. All we have to do is look at the calendar and people planning events and see what else is going on that day. The last thing that I think is interesting for this group is we have a company called local.com that provides a business directory on our website. And the advantage of that is not so much that you can go to the bottom of the homepage and see this top searches, but that if you're searching for the name of your business out on Google, it's very likely you'll find your listing listed under the uni.com. And so local.com, they go out and get all of these business listings from the phone company. It's not the phone company, but it's one of the two databases in this country that really manages that information. And then they build a page, and then you can go in and customize that page. So that's how the site is today. Coming soon, we'll have a completely different site, and it's based primarily on the stats of the current site. And so the other advantages of right now, we have a web app, we have a web page. They're not the same thing at all. But the new site, what you see on your laptop is the same site you see on your tablet, it's the same site you see on your phone. It's just reorganized to fit the screen, the appropriate screen size. We had originally intended for it to be responsive design. Responsive design is where if you drag the corner of your window up, everything starts taking up less and less space for however much space you give it. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do that because we sell ads based on size. And so it's hard to sell an ad based on size and then have it start shrinking up when people shrink up their window. So it'll figure out what device you're coming from and then show the appropriate page for whatever device you're on. And all the behind the scenes is the same, except for the content management system is a different company, and the data center will be moved to Arizona. The other exciting things that I think are great for this group is what we call Steal the Deal. It's very much like Groupon, if you're familiar with Groupon. The advantage that Steal the Deal has over Groupon is that it doesn't kill the small business owner like Groupon can. It also has no upfront costs. So if you think of any other coupon book you've ever got or been asked to participate in, they generally ask you for two things. One is a great deal, and the other is money. So the great deal is because people want you to have a great deal so that you'll use their coupon book. And then the money is to produce whatever book it is and distribute it. With Steal the Deal, there are still two prices to be paid. Because you want whoever gets the deal to want it. So there's a good deal. You need to have a good 2-for-1 or an introductory special of some kind. But there's no upfront cost. The cost for that, well, we happen to have a home and garden show. It partners with the home and garden area of the website. We have a farm-to-table area of the newspaper that's about recipes and cooking and stuff we all like to eat. We last year started a new event called Flavor Nevada County. We also have the Healthy Tuesday section of the website, all about health. We have a new event, well, it's not new anymore, the Paint the Town Pink that I hope you've all thought of going to or have been to in October for breast cancer awareness, sponsored by Sierra Nevada Memorial Hospital. So putting it all together. So we've already kind of talked about email marketing and what we do with our email lists. Our email lists come from print and all access subscribers, print and all access advertisers, and we also have a list from that Trumba, people who put their event into Trumba, the calendar. That's not really as great of a list because in many cases the contact information for those events are general purpose mailboxes, info@nameofmygroup.com or general delivery. So that's really not a great list for promotions like that. So those lists are used to promote Steal the Deal and Paint the Town Pink, Home Garden Show, those kinds of things. We of course have our Facebook page, and I hope you'll all become a fan of if you're not already. And I think of that as celebrating the good works of others. It needs to be things that people like or want to share with others. If there's an accident down on Highway 49, it's really not the best posting for Facebook because nobody wants to like that. The other thing that I've found is successful is those weird little police blotter items with the quirky little things. The one was most successful as a couple months ago, there was one where somebody had reported to the police that somebody was sitting naked by a post office box or by a street sign for over an hour, and it turned out to be a mannequin. Well, somebody from the Facebook page shared that with the Ellen show, and Ellen read it on her show. And not that we got any referrals back because they don't say where it came from, but it's good for a laugh. It's fun to share. And it used to be that we robo-posted to Facebook, so that the RSS feed would get posted to our Facebook page automatically. That's better than nothing, but it's far better to have a post that you've thought about, you've linked to the appropriate people, and included that. And you just have, I'm by no means an expert on Facebook, but I've tried to become fans of all of the local pages so that I could include them as a hot link within my post. And so it's a lot of times it's thanking somebody or saying good job. People love to like those kinds of things. But it is becoming more difficult. I don't know if you've noticed with Facebook in the last couple of months, they're really, people don't realize that with Facebook and with Google, there's really a bubble around what you get to see. And to get into that bubble, their computer has to decide that that posting is good enough for you to see. If you only have a couple friends on Facebook, you may see everything, but that bubble that keeps us away, it's harder and harder for every post to get through that bubble that Facebook keeps around us.
Unless you decide to pay for it.
Let me make a comment. I just talked to a business here in town that has a information-based business on Ayurvedic men's health. He says that he has been doing promoted posts, which is a feature from Facebook where now you can pay to have that post in a wider bubble.
Yeah.
And he says it's been incredibly successful. He's getting in the neighborhood of 50 leads a month and spending about $300 a month. So that's something I'm going to play around with once I have something. But it has to be kind of a customized post and something that's got a specific, ideally, marketing message and tie into a landing page or something. But that was really intriguing for me because you can now gain the system.
You can now pay for Facebook to let you have your friends see your posts.
Now, isn't that just on your page, or is it also
That on your
profile?
business page or your profile page, not your personal page.
Not the personal page, so your business
Yeah,
page, right?
it's for business pages. And places pages too.
I was really hoping by this show I could show that we had 3,000 friends, but unfortunately, I'd really like it if you guys would go to Facebook.com.
That'll be our email wrap up tomorrow.
And then on each of our articles, of course, there's a recommend link. When you click that recommend link, it puts a what do you call it, post on your Facebook page saying that you recommend that link. We have, of course, a Twitter page. That is robo-tweeted from the RSS feeds, and can't see what it says, how many friends we have over there, or followers. We have 825 followers, and we follow 167. We also have, of course, a YouTube page that we kind of go in spurts with video, but I've found that people don't really come to a newspaper or website looking for video. They just don't expect to see it, they don't look for it. If it's appropriate, then we put the video is appropriate, then it's incorporated with the article, embedded in the article, so that one, I think it's the Nevada City SB grocery grab there. That video was highly viewed, but some of the others are not so highly viewed. And then we also use those for posting to Facebook, just because it's two birds with one stone. Rather than uploading to the video uploader on Facebook, you can upload it to YouTube, and then it's the same. You can count the same number of views, whether you got them from Facebook or whether you got them from YouTube or from an article. They all get counted there. The last thing that's somewhat social is RSS feeds. So every news section on the website has this RSS feed, and every calendar event has, or the calendar event has an RSS feed. And soon with our new website, every author will have their own RSS feed, so you can subscribe just donations if you choose to. And the last one that's so interesting to me is Pinterest, because it's so obvious that when you think of the sections at the top of a newspaper, food, fashion, whatever, those are all the same topics pretty much that Pinterest has on their site. They're all the same kinds of topics. And so the pins that I've made so far are some pets for the, because there's a pets area on Pinterest. We have some articles on wheels, and there's an automobiles and motorcycle sections on Pinterest. So it works perfectly with the newspaper topics. And the other thing about Pinterest is there's nothing saying they have to be brand new. So those you see the wheels posts there, those are old posts, but who cares if a post is old? It's on an old car. So it's still of interest to people who are interested in those types of things. Same is true with gardening. A lot of them, you don't, and certainly not with history, it really doesn't matter if the post is today or it was last year. It's still relevant.
Quick question. I'm not familiar with Pinterest. Could you give a brief description of what it is?
Well, I'm not sure I'm the best qualified, but it's just fun. It's just fun. If you go to Pinterest, they do a great job of, let's see, I was talking to the president of our company last week, and he said he was friends with the family of the guy that started Pinterest, and I don't know if it's true. It sounds apocryphal to me. That as a young man, he liked to collect insects. And so he was familiar with these ideas of having boxes with insects with pins in them. And so it made sense to him that this was a good way to organize information. To me, it doesn't make any sense at all. But it's fun once you get started because it's so graphic.
Social network, the essence of it, you can take a topic area and say, here's the things I like on this topic, and it's associated with you pinning that to that area.
Okay.
You can also create your own topical pages within your account and pin on that. And just to tell you, because I've done all these other social things, I have like 60 people following me on Pinterest now. I haven't done anything yet. So it's interesting because it's really getting adopted and people are using it. But essentially, anything you like around the web, it's like putting a bookmark that people can share.
It's a like collection, kind of how people have their like stamp collecting. Or,
So a hobby.
it's pretty much that, where you're looking at photos or recipes are really popular on it. And it's just, you bring together all your interests and everyone else sees your interests. So it's a social.
It's like creating collages. Like
Yeah.
you create collages under different topics and people can see them.
Great.
Did
Okay.
you just say scrapbooking?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's
For those
how I feel.
So
about
it's
it.
social
Yeah,
scrapbooking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard that. I was like, that's
Are you getting any feedback as to how many people are actually clicking then on the images and coming back to the union through that click? Or are they just sort of collecting cool pictures?
I just get the emails that say somebody new has subscribed, or I don't know what they call it, following those, but I don't know how much referral
Well, I
traffic.
took
we
a
get
course,
from.
and repinning is exceeding pins. More people are sharing, and that's what it is, an exposure of your pins to other people.
But whether that actually leads to them getting back to the
You can
site
link it,
that you want them to
link
get
it,
to.
you can also link them to your landing page.
And I can bring it back from those big corporations that were discussing this at the conference or that. They're finding success doing it. So they're creating specific landing pages with a message that connects with some of these pins and topics. So I'm going to make one up now. It's not actually something discussed, but say if you were IBM and you were talking to network engineers and you wanted to show them this new product line and what it would do, you could do schematic circuit boards, for example. And then that could be shared within those network engineers, but then it's going to have an associated link coming back to your site saying, here's the product that has this and here's the sales funnel.
And it's really fad driven too. Like what people are interested in, like what's trendy kind of thing.
But the disassociation from your page in Pinterest is a real problem. When you pin something, they take a photo off of that website and they store it on their servers. And when they show it to people, they're not showing that photo off your website. They're showing it off of their servers. Even if your website went down, they'd still be able to show that photo. That's copyright infringement. And so there's a big legal problem with when you pin something, you're taking legal responsibility that you have the authority to pin that, to share it with other people. So I'd be real careful if you went to, say, Kyle James might have, and if he's making money off of photography, and you go to his website and start pinning things, yes, you're sharing it with other people, but that may not be his intent. If he's making money off of it, Kyle, are you going?
He left.
He just
Totally
left.
I didn't,
Professional photographers, be real careful around Pinterest.
but then that ends
Taking money
up
away.
being just a thumbnail size though, so I'm not sure if it's a very high
The initial view
resolution
is, you click on it
issue.
again, it's the full res view, or based on.
But that would take you back to the original site where you want them to go in the first place.
Well, if I had my connection set up, I think an early good thing set up, and I didn't.
I'm sorry.
I don't know what the password is.
I think their phone number goes there.
That's
You
all
have to
right.
click
I don't
through
know
to
if
the
that's
larger
one-
picture,
one-
and then once you get there, if you click
No.
on that,
No,
then it'll take
I
you
think
through
that,
to the main website. But
One
there
other
are
thing is that I made
two,
some connections at this
two leap
conference
steps
that people are
before you
doing
get there.
Pinterest. There's an organization called Direct Marketers Association, and I'm the speaking coordinator for this group, so I'm trying to bring in people from further afield. So if you are here and you have an expertise with kind of tactical knowledge of Pinterest, great, talk to me. If not, I'm going to try to make sure we add that to one of our training sessions. It seems like there's a lot of interest. I've got to figure it out myself too. I don't know yet. I didn't. So if she's doing Pinterest, then maybe we have that in October.
Yeah.
Oh, it is Pinterest? Okay,
Yeah.
great. Yeah, I know she's in October. I hadn't looked at the topic yet. So
And I don't even know, like the page I started with my name on it, and then I changed it to Union. Well, if it's like Facebook, that's not the way to go. And I don't even know on Pinterest how you create a page that's appropriate for business as opposed to one for an individual. There's got to be a way.
Okay.
So that's really all I had to talk about, but I don't pretend to be a know-it-all on any of this, so if you see some things that you think that we should be doing better, I'd really like to have your feedback on.
Hey, Tom, back on, gosh, now I'm drawing a blank, the piece that you're talking about to manage the
Reputation management, yeah.
Yeah. Is that something Union uses for itself, or is that something that you're offering for subscribers?
We offer it to businesses who participate in the social management. It's on their menu of services. But I'm using it because it's really bad to go to a group like this and say we offer this service, and they say, well, how's that working out for you? You say, well, I haven't actually tried it myself. So I just didn't want to be in that predicament in the future, and so it's great. It does actually.
And
Oh,
I just
again,
remember,
we
I
have-
think the password is 12345 1234.
Oh.
Does that sound familiar?
Secure.
In a list of passwords not to use.
Yeah, and the ones that I'm rattling around. I used to remember lots of phone numbers. I can't remember anybody's phone number anymore. Not room for it.
And Tom, I know you probably figured this out, but you guys are the first group to see our new webpage look. It doesn't get launched until mid-August, so it's just for you guys.
Yeah, that is the group that manages that. And the reason I hear about reputation management is I listen to NPR, and there's a company that's always advertising reputation management on NPR.
Reputation.com.
Yeah. So the first thing you do is you give it all your correct information, and then it goes out and kind of trolls the web, looks for posts that it believes are related to your business. Now for us, that's a little different because you'll find that some of what it believes are negative posts are about a stolen mining cart or an obituary. Well, as far as it's concerned, those are it analyzes all the text in those stories. Well, somebody died. That's a negative post, right? So I haven't really gone through and corrected it on all of these. You'll see it found that the meetup here thinks that's positive.
Correct. Another website for this is clout.com, Klout.com. It's free, so it's not going to be as good necessarily, but it is pretty good. It'll show you a score for your social stuff. Similarly, you connect it to other ones. Another tool is just having your name as a Google alert. So you get an email notice if your name or your business name has hit the press, and occasionally you can look through those to see if it's positive, negative, or something you should respond to. And reputation.com sucks.
Is that a technical error?
This is being recorded.
So it gives me a score. It goes to all these, the big search engines, review sites. Some of those aren't appropriate. So like the RateMD's website, I would have no business on there. Thank goodness they don't have me on there. They haven't found me on there. Others, they have found us on. You know, like Yelp, I didn't have a proper listing on Yelp, so that's corrected. TripAdvisor, well, that's not going to be there. The directory sites, some of those are a real pain. I can't remember which of these is. They literally charge you to correct your listing.
And one on that list I'd recommend to everybody here is Merchant Circle, which is a pretty good social site. Allows you, among other things, to redistribute your blog on their platform, which then gets more reads and traffic from there. Battery Celeste uses it a lot. We are the mayor of Grass Valley, and that also gets us some promotion too.
Merchant Circle.
Merchant Circle.
I have actually gotten a client from that too.
Great. And I'm developing content around how to use that. I have maybe a brief article on my website, but I'll probably be including that in my blog.
So each of these, it shows you the listing, and so it's telling me that this listing doesn't have a website. So it would seem like I could click on edit and go in and edit that real fast, but when you think about the websites these are going to, it's not that easy. You have to get a phone call at your desk or get a printed postcard mailed to you in order to verify that you are indeed the owner of that business. So it's a long process to get these all corrected. One of those, local.com, is the same site or the same company that we use for the listings on our website. And this really illustrated to me, why do I have people in Arizona contacting me to correct the information that they're seeing on our website? Well, it's because once it's on local.com, it's a lot of places, and they can go to any of those websites that use local.com to correct it. But it just makes no sense to me why I care about breast augmentation in LA or whatever. You know, it's just these people trying to correct.
Who isn't interested in breast augmentation in LA? So let's do some more questions before we're done. We've got about 5 more minutes for questions and answers. So, any other questions?
This is maybe more of a comment, but I go to NC Voices, which is kind of an aggregator Pascal runs, and right there at the top of the union's articles, warning articles below are paywalled. It is listed in red, and what I learned from you today is that actually a lot of your content is not behind the paywall, depending upon what the source was. And I just wonder if, you know, talking about correcting websites, because it's sort of casting a blanket over everything that would be at theunion.com, like don't bother to click on these links unless you have a subscription. Turns out I don't think that's accurate.
You're saying I should, well...
Can I give you a quick trick on this that I was doing on my iPad while we were looking at this? You go to Google and type in a search for site:theunion.com. Anything that's not paywalled is open to Google, so that you can look through that as far as the pages. So I was looking at a fire page up there. You have like the breaking news stuff you're talking about. You had an earthquake page. So you can use Google to figure out which of those pages Google has access to, which therefore means they're open to the public.
Or an easier way would be just look at the home page. There's a little key next to ones that are premium, and there's a dot next to ones that aren't premium.
Paywall, I've never heard that.
Paywall is a term we don't use because it's a very, very negative comment. There was something else going to open that, but what else? The site search. Any site, if you want to narrow it down. So any time in Google that you want to narrow it down to a specific site, all of the results will come just from that site by putting this site : at the beginning of the search term.
And you don't even have to narrow it by keyword there. So what I did is I just looked at the pages Google thought was most important, which sure enough had some interesting pages on there that I didn't know you guys had. I didn't know you had an earthquake information page. That's still cool.
You can get better information on Google by going to the news link, but they sort things based on time there, as you might expect. And so it's like, well, where did all those results go I just saw? Well, it's because they've narrowed it down by time. So I need to tell it a longer period of time in order to get more results.
Okay, we got time for one more question. Anybody else have a winner? Okay, you covered everything that could possibly be covered.
Sounds good.
Very good. So thank you again, Tom, and